Story 1. This is more of a saying, but I feel it helps shed light on a few things. We judge ourselves by our intentions. We judge others by their actions. In other words, people are going to look at you for what you do, and your intentions are mostly irrelevant. Story 2. There will always be someone better looking, better educated, younger, more experienced, more intelligent, or wealthier than you. Do your best, live without regret, have empathy and kindness, give when you can, expecting nothing in return. Focus on your heart value more than what others have. Story 3. You can only help people who actually want it. If they're not ready to change or put in the effort, there's not much you can do. Realizing this can save you a lot of frustration and help you focus on people who actually appreciate your help. Story 4. Things are just things. They do not have feelings. They do not care if you give them away, sell them, or throw them out. If a thing is useful, keep it. If not, get rid of it. Story 5. Just because you're right doesn't mean people will agree with you, and they might work against you either way. My wife struggles with this. She has an idea that works and earns the company more money, but the owner and other workers are against it because they disagree with it, even with evidence that it works better for them financially. All the data in the world won't change the mind of a person who won't listen. Story 6. Once you're an adult, there really isn't anyone you can completely depend on except yourself. There will still be people in your life to lean on, but everyone has their limits in how they can help you. Story 7. Life is unfair. Once you accept this, you will feel better. Good deeds usually go unrewarded. If you are doing a good deed for a reward, you are doing it for the wrong reason. You will never be able to explain anything to someone who is unwilling or unable to listen. If you try, you will, at minimum, be frustrated and waste your time. Story 8. Not everything is a lesson. Sometimes you just fail. Dwight Schrute. I think being able to accept failure and move on from it is quite important. You might try and fail despite doing everything right, but it's important to be able to try again. Story 9. In general, people in the real world are oblivious to you. You are not even a blip on their radar. If you are insecure about something you wear or how you look, remember, nobody cares. Story 10. It is easy to believe that everything is hopeless and terrible because that means you don't have to do anything about it. Apparently, it wouldn't do anything anyway. There's no point. There is comfort in hopelessness. So you can sit there, do nothing, believe that the world is in the hands of some mysterious, insidious cabal, and coast believing the results would be the same whether or not you did anything between nothing and everything. It's much harder to accept that you have power because that might entail some responsibility. The truth is, over your life, the lives of the people around you, and to some extent the world, what you do actually matters. And given the way the effects of our choices ripple beyond our ability to see them, probably in much larger ways than we realize. Story 11. Before I graduated high school, I thought, thank God, I finally won't have to deal with annoying, obnoxious kids, and I'll be treated like an adult. I came to find out 95% of adults are worse than the actual kids. Nobody knows what they're actually doing, and life is actually a big joke. Story 12. Neighbors and coworkers do not need to know everything about you. They are not your friends. Some of your friends are not the friends you need. No response is a response. Things that you care about will die eventually. People are going to do what they do. However you fall into that is open to interpretation. Maintain your physical and mental health the best you can. Edit. You will not always get to say goodbye. Your last moment may not be when you think or what you hoped for. Story 13. If a romantic interest is not giving you the same attention and respect you give them, they don't really care about or want you. You're in for a world of hurt if you keep telling yourself otherwise. Story 14. People who are good for you will make you feel happy, joyful, accepted, cared for, and filled with fun times, despite any differences. People who are not good for you will make you feel anxious, sad, down, slighted, judged, and never check in on you if you're not okay. They won't even bother noticing when you're not okay. Genuine people will never let you suffer in silence or watch you suffer. Stay away from those who make you feel negative emotions and thoughts. I'm seeing responses about codependency, And that is not what I was referring to. Nor was I referring to needing validation or confirmation of my value or my worth. I'm strictly referring to the people you allow to be a part of your life. It's a general statement about what you allow into your life. I appreciate the comments because it has provided me further insight into how people view statements and interpret them. Story 15. Sometimes you can do everything right and still lose. That applies to relationships, parenting, career choices, you name it. Losing is a part of life. Story 16. Nobody cares. This is the best and worst news of all time. Nobody, outside a few close people, is thinking about you other than in passing. They are all the main character in their movie. A few years after you die, the world will mostly forget you. This is bad news. It is also very freeing. Throw off your worry and your shame. Live life to the fullest. You are free from the judgment of people who do not have time to care. This is amazing news. The sooner you accept it, the better your life will be. Story 17. The person you thought was the love of your life may not think of you as the love of their life. And that's okay. We all see the world differently. Your happiness doesn't come from someone else. It comes from within. Story 18. Your lack of planning does not constitute an emergency for others. It is unfortunate, but seriously, always have a backup plan for everything and be as well organized as you can. Story 19. Don't take things too personally. Most of the time, nothing has anything to do with you, even direct criticism. It's more of a reflection of what's going on inside the person in front of you, so there's nothing you can do about it. Story 20. Happiness and satisfaction are completely internal and based on what you have chosen to measure them by. No one and nothing can make you happy unless you have chosen to let it. This is why there are so many miserable rich people and people who have great lives that still unhappily yearn for more. Story 21. That there will be friends or frenemies who will always envy you and continue to follow your social activities to watch you slip up. The sooner you get rid of these types of friends, the healthier your circles will be. Story 22. Propaganda is a real thing. It is used because it works. Humanity as a whole has gotten much better at it over time, and you are not immune to it. If you are looking at information and end up feeling strongly about it, positively or negatively, it was likely just used on you. It does not mean that the information is wrong, but it may have made you feel much stronger than you should about your need for this product, your willingness to donate your time or money to this cause, your devotion to or hatred of this person, and so on. Realizing this can actually vastly reduce your stress over many things. Story 23. Potato chips are completely unnecessary, and they will keep shrinking in size while you continue paying the ever-increasing cost. You are allowing their unabashed greed. Story 24. You are responsible for your life. Blaming others for your problems might feel good temporarily, but it does not change your situation. Taking responsibility empowers you to make changes and improve your circumstances. Story 25. You need to provide the world with something for people to value you. There are so many people out there who think that they just deserve a girlfriend or a boyfriend, but if you're not giving anything, if you don't offer anything, then you're not going to get the kind of person who offers you anything. The same thing applies to friendships. Friendships are about giving. It's not about what you want, it's about what you offer. And I'm not talking about financial stuff here. I'm talking about listening, being there when someone needs you, helping them. When you hit your 20s, all you can think about is what the world can give to you, not about what you can offer. You need to offer something to be valuable to society. Story 26. You are a child, always were, always will be. You may get wiser, stronger, older, and smarter with age, but you are still a large child who is selfish, hungry, and desperate for attention and validation. You can either deny it and become depressed, embrace it and become entitled, or simply accept it as part of your life and realize you were born to be happy, working towards making your inner child happy as often and responsibly as you can. Story 27. People's opinions don't matter. Not one bit. I realized that most opinions that people hold are not truly theirs. They acquired them somehow from something else. Were they to think about the matter factually, they would see that their opinions won't hold. Story 28. All aspects of our modern society were either created to solve a problem that no longer exists, or because of individuals with a cult of personality around them, or most commonly created by marketing companies or government agencies to make you act in their interest instead of acting in self-interest. Our norms don't come from some divine source, or even a well-educated source, not even a well-meaning source most of the time. If you don't fit into the mold very well, congrats, you were never intended to. The mold is there to shape you into a good little consumer, worker, soldier who won't ask questions and will sacrifice happiness in their current life for the promise of happiness in the afterlife. All you are doing by acting within the confines of social pressure is limiting your own happiness, distancing yourself from people who might actually like the real you, lying to the people around you, and not giving them a chance to really know you, and inadvertently applying more societal pressure to those around you by keeping up the persona. I think most people start to understand this pretty early, because all it takes is some surface questions like, why do I have to buy a diamond engagement ring? Or why can't boys wear nail polish? To really open up that Pandora's box, but are corrected pretty early and just told, that's the way things are by people in power that they want love and approval from. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people have more trauma from this than they realize because they believe that the way they naturally want to act and live is wrong, and they live their whole lives, since before knowing their ABCs, thinking everyone, including themselves, needs to be as close to society's expectations of them to be worth love and respect. And when they see evidence to the contrary, they get angry but don't know where to place it or how to deal with it because that knowledge became a central pillar of their understanding of the world. The short of it, don't worry so much about society's concepts. Live your life however you want as long as it doesn't affect anyone else's ability to live their life how they want to. You get to be conscious for like 70 years, the first 20 of which you don't really get to be your own person. Then you get a good 30 years where you have the opportunity to live the life you want and be the person you are. Then most of us get another 10 to 20 years to reminisce and relax, hopefully with loving friends and or family that you cultivated along the way. Then we all die, each and every one of us. And here's the kicker, if you waste that 30 years because you are scared of what other people will think, that last 10 to 20 years is just going to be filled with misery and regret. You will have no real friends or family, just people who expect you to play a part. Story 29. As someone who lived my life until my late 20s with the worldview that nobody can tell me what to do. Yes, sometimes they can, and sometimes things are out of your control. This may not apply to billionaires or children of political powerhouses, but I don't think many of them are browsing Reddit. I went to prison for 4 years and was on probation for 4 years after that, and it was a big eye-opener for me. You can control your actions, but at some point, people with guns and tasers in prisons can, and will control you for right or wrong. It makes life way easier to realize that because all those things suck to get hit with. Story 30. The majority of people won't make 6 figures no matter what they do. Not everyone is going to be able to buy a house, no matter what politicians say. Not everyone should go to college. And that's okay. There is just as much pride in being a retail clerk, waitress, or garbage man as there is in any other job. Live within your paycheck, not your dreams. Don't go into debt for anything. Being grateful and content is so much more important than money. Story 31. Nothing can be earned easily. You have to work for it. No one cares about you except your family. No one is deeply concerned about what you are doing, so mind your own business and work. And the best part is you will die one day. So enjoy your life and stop worrying about trivial matters. Story 32. When you are mad at other people, your anger is your problem. If there really is a problem, no matter the problem, your anger is not helping. You must evolve past anger. Urgently figure it out and get beyond it. No one is going to read this, and I am not mad. Story 33. You die. I mean, you really die. Like you only get one go at this. What a precious thing we have. One time. That's it. No second chances. No redos. Gone. The world goes on. We stop being alive. We don't go anywhere. Nothing happens. All done. No more. That day is coming soon. Live your life to its fullest. Love yourself. Love your family. Tolerate your neighbor. Story 34. Here is the text with the requested corrections and modifications. 1. Life is not fair. 2. The only place karma exists is on Reddit. 3. Good things won't happen for you just because you're a good person. 4. Love and relationships take work, not just feelings. 5. The fast lane is for passing. Story 35. You're not going to be good at anything without extensive, dedicated practice. The best time to start practicing something was when you were a kid. The next best time is today. Story 36. As time goes on, your abilities to do the things you like will decline. It is okay, though, because instead of being able to do 10,000 things, being able to do 8,000 or 9,000 out of 10,000 is still better than being able to do none. So you just have to focus on what you can still do as we age.